Okay guys, this vid's being made due to my last vid working with that circuit. I find that it takes a lot of current from the battery to produce the charge in the capacitor, and it takes a little long for the charge to happen. So I've been messing around and I've ordered up some parts that I want to use. I ordered up a big roll of 22 gauge wire so I can roll my own inductors. I believe I need some bigger inductors, larger inductance on one coil, and I'm going to make very low inductance on the primaries of the transformers. Um, I'm finding that I'm going to have to make my own transformers in order to get my results that I want to get. But in experimenting with charging the capacitors over at overunity.com, in the energy amplification thread, uh, we found an article. One of the guys brought up an article that shows how to make an Arvmenko plug. And what that is I got a couple things I want to show here. Is I have two diodes. These are 1000 volt diodes from Radio Shack. You get three in a package. One of them, the cathode, is connected to the alligator clip, and the other one, the anode's connected, and then you have the two leads coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook those up to this capacitor. Let's see, I wasn't prepared for this, but this is a really cool thing here that the guys brought up, and I thought I'd try it, and I was trying to think of how am I going to try this, and with what input. And I have some fluorescent light transformers that I've taken apart some printers, and they have scanners, and they have a very nice circuit boards. This is one. This one came out of I believe it was just a scanner. This one would have come out of a printer, and here's like the tube that they use in them, and it gets really bright. But I believe my meter only reads up to 1000 volts, so when I charge a capacitor off of it, if it's large enough, it doesn't quite go all the way up to that voltage with what we're doing here. But we're going to connect this up, one lead that's connected to those diodes, up to, there's only two pins in there. I'm just going off of the far end. I can go off of either one. And so we have one lead coming off of the output that would normally go to this fluorescent bulb. I believe it's like sort of like neon, more neon than fluorescent. Let's see, my diode came off here. Like I said, I wasn't prepared here, but okay. So we have one cathode. This is a AC capacitor. It's rated up to 2000 volts. It's just under 1 microfarad. And we got our meter here connected up. Reading basically nothing. We're going to turn that light on. Now I'm going to turn this on so you can hear the voltage rise. Right now you can hear it just humming away. Alright. I'm going to connect up negative lead of this transformer. Let's get this one out of the way. That was just an example. Now as soon as I hook that up, I'm up 150, 170, and this is off of one wire going to these two diodes. We've only made one connection to this transformer. Supposedly what it's doing is, even though there's no load on the secondary of the transformer, there's still positive and negative charge moving back and forth, and the diodes see this. So apparently if it's forcing a charge negatively, it's going to go through one diode and affect that side of the capacitor, and then when it's going positive, it'll come out of the other diode and affect that side of the capacitor. I believe it's possibly affecting it alternately, rather than a charge coming through and then back out at the same time. But what's interesting, we have 193 volts. Now, I'm going to take another lead here, and we're going to hook it up on the capacitor. Let's see, it's just a red lead here. I'm going to connect it up. Oh, lost my diode connection again. Let me see. I'm going to turn this off. Give me 1 second. Alright. Okay, we're back on. We have this lead connected here, and this is the other end. We're going to put the power back on. Voltage starts rising again. And we're going to short out the cap. Now, this is a 1 microfarad cap. It's capable of going to 2000 volts, but you can see. But that's a lot of charge coming off of this. And if I hook up this bulb to this thing, which I'll do if I have time here at the end of the video, right now these transistors on here running cold. Everything's running cold. But I'm pulling that much energy off of here to, it's 213 volts. Now another thing that I found, now we got one end open on the transformer here. I'm going to take our red lead off of here, and our red lead, we're just going to let it hang out. We're going to connect it up to the other side. You hear the voltage rise? 500 volts. And that's just sort of like acting like an antenna here. Now if I hold on to it, I'm maybe acting like a ground for, or another plate for the charge to happen. Now I'll disconnect that. You can hear it go down. I'm going to put it back on. I have one of these fluorescent tubes here. We're going to connect the one wire, and we lit. I'm going to turn this light off for a second. You can see it glowing. It's only half lit because we only have one wire on it, but we're up to 550 volts just by having the other end on there. Now, if I want to increase it one more time, possibly I'm going to have to take some measurements and measure the input to this, and it's probably filtered pretty well on there. This is the input circuit over here. I'm going to connect up one more lead to the other side of the bulb. So we got two open-end circuits. Now the bulb is a lot brighter. Now we got this lead just hanging off of here. It's not a big deal. I'm going to touch my finger to the end of it. You can see the light changes. 688 volts going into this capacitor. So now, while we have all that going, this is all one-ended. The light's off of one end of the transformer and the capacitor through the Arvmenco plug. Now we'll short this thing out at 600 volts and see what we got. Oh man, I gotta really prepare myself for these things here. One more time. Let me short this thing out. I was excited about this because I had just played with this while I was messing around. Let me see, get this diode back in here. And I just wanted to do the video. Okay, let's hook this back up. Bring our light back up, and we're going to hook up a shorting cable here so we can short this. We're up to 766 volts, and we're going to short it out.